How many times have you seen these landmarks while walking through the streets of London? You might have been on a boat tour, on an open bus tour, on a duck tour, but have you ever been on an unseen tour?
Unseen Tours is a unique social enterprise that organizes walking tours of London led by homeless and former homeless guides. The 80% of the ticket fee goes directly to them to help them regain self-confidence and to give them an opportunity for the future. I'm here in Shoreditch to speak with Harry, responsible of the area and artist.
These tours try to change the perspective of people, what they're thinking about homeless in general, because it's always people think that they drug users, alcoholics, or people who actually want to live on the street, which is a wrong perception because government don't build and don't provide so many social housing. There's many people who just had problems in life and the government failed them, so they end up on the street. It's an opportunity to change my life because I live mostly in a tent and on a roundabout, and then I basically get away from the street. So for me, it was very beneficial.
The London Bridge area is covered by John. After being homeless for years, John now works full-time for a charity. As a side job, he's a guide for unseen tours.
I like the history, and I like the fact that some people don't get what I'm talking about. They don't get my jokes. You know, the tour's not meant as a Google guide to Southwark. It's a fun, quite eccentric tour of London Bridge and the surrounding areas. It helped me to reintegrate into society that either I left behind or they left me behind. And now I'm working full time and paying tax. I think it is important. It's very important, really. And for the self-esteem more than anything else.
Unseen Tours is, for many of the guides, a stepping stone to find a different job and go back to their lives. However, as Henry said, not everyone is able to work or to be trained because of mental health problems or addictions. Recent research revealed that homelessness in the UK has increased for the last 4 consecutive years, meaning that the fight against it has still a long way to go. John expresses what this fight means to him in his poem One More Gatsby.
In God we trust, but the economy went bust and we ain't got across the bread. Got no lead in my pencil, no ink in my pen, and I'm wondering when my memory's going to go, and I'm getting slow. I remember a time, or it may recall me, when as a young man of 20 or 2, maybe 3, I was wealthy and healthy and full of it all, but then came the crash and I started to fall and I dropped. Stopped being an earner, learned to survive on weak old stale pies and handouts, the hand-me-down, the other side of life in any big town where you pay your trust to the temples of dust and the soup comes free with a touch of religion on the crust of dry bread, and sometimes I think that God must be dead.